Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. So, we're jumping right into a really strange psychological mystery today, and honestly, I think it's going to hit pretty close to home for a lot of you. Think about the supreme irony of modern life for a second. We save up for months, we spend thousands of dollars to travel across the country or even across the world to some beautiful, tranquil destination, all with the singular goal of relaxing. And the exact moment we get there, we feel incredibly stressed. Today, we're going to explore exactly why so many of us absolutely struggle to just sit back and relax on our days off. It's supposed to be our time to unwind, decompress, and recharge. Yet somehow, sitting still often feels like incredibly hard work. So let's unpack why that is.
All right, let's start with Section 1, the vacation relaxation paradox.
Do you ever go on vacation but find it absolutely impossible to just sit still and do nothing? I mean, we've all been there, right? It's incredibly relatable. You finally make it to that beautiful beach resort or that quiet little cabin in the woods you've literally been dreaming about for 6 months. But then within an hour of unpacking, you're pacing the floor. You might find yourself meticulously reorganizing your luggage, or, aggressively updating an itinerary that really doesn't need updating, or mindlessly scrolling through your news feeds just to feel useful. You are sitting right there in paradise, yet you're frantically searching for a task. Why on earth can't we just do nothing? Well, the good news here, you aren't broken. There's actually a real diagnosis for your fidgety vacations, and it's called productive restlessness. Basically, it's a psychological phenomenon where your brain actively resists relaxation because it is fundamentally wired for problem solving. Your brain is quite literally fighting your vacation. It treats the absence of work as an absolute crisis. And what's really fascinating about this is that it isn't just a quirk of type A personalities. It's a deep-seated biological response to suddenly shifting gears from high-alert modern life to absolute stillness.
Moving on to Section 2, your problem-solving brain.
Here's the harsh truth. Doing nothing just feels uncomfortable. And to understand why, we kind of have to look back a few millennia. See, our brains evolved and adapted over thousands of years to constantly scan our environments, anticipate threats, and solve problems just to keep us safe and productive. Ancient humans definitely couldn't afford to just chill in a hammock. Actually, scratch that, they didn't even have hammocks, but you get the point. If you weren't actively securing food, building shelter, or watching for predators, your survival was at massive risk. Fast forward to today, and that ancient survival mechanism is still running strong. So when you try to just sit quietly on a beach, your brain completely misfires. It interprets that sudden lack of action as a problem in itself, triggering genuine physical discomfort. Your biological alarm bells are ringing precisely because there is no danger.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the sheer disconnect going on. Just look at this contrast. On one hand, your physical state is anchored in stillness. You are actively trying to stop moving and literally do nothing. But completely detached from that physical reality is your mental state, which is just humming with this low-level tension. You're entirely locked in problem-solving mode. It's a massive internal tug-of-war. Your body is on pause, resting in a lounge chair, but your mind is running an absolute marathon behind the scenes, desperately scanning the horizon for a crisis to manage.
So that brings us to Section 3, the illusion of control. The human mind naturally craves a sense of control to manage life's sheer unpredictability. Think of the world as this fundamentally chaotic place. It's full of surprises, shifting deadlines, totally unexpected challenges, and our brains, they absolutely hate that chaos. To fight it, we constantly seek control just to feel safe and grounded. By staying busy and constantly solving problems, we create this illusion, really, that we are mastering our environment. And this is exactly why you can't just flip a switch and instantly relax. Subconsciously, your brain feels that by stopping, by giving up your active engagement with the world, you are surrendering your hard-won control to the chaos. Letting go literally feels like letting your guard down in a very unpredictable world. And look at how these psychological triggers just cascade and amplify each other. Back home or at the office, you've got unfinished tasks, and those create an immediate, lingering sense of tension. Those unresolved issues, they stay completely active in your subconscious, and because of that, you instinctively start looking for things to fix, even when there's absolutely nothing broken. I mean, picture it. You're sitting there trying to sip a pina colada, but your brain is suddenly generating this phantom to-do list. It reminds you of that one email you forgot to send on Thursday. It suddenly makes you wonder in sheer panic if you left the garage door open back home. It keeps you locked in this escalating cycle of low-level anxiety, frantically trying to regain control when you're supposed to be listening to the ocean waves. Which leads us to our final section, Section 4, the suspicion of rest. The research on this clearly shows that the brain experiences a massive, super strong resistance to dropping its problem-solving mode. Instead of just allowing ourselves to rest, breathe, and recharge, those unresolved issues we just talked about act exactly like a background app on your smartphone. You know exactly what I mean. When your phone gets incredibly hot in your pocket and the battery is just draining rapidly because like 3 different apps are trying to refresh in the background, well, your brain, it does the exact same thing. It experiences genuine cognitive fatigue from constantly searching for problems to solve when there are absolutely none around. It is actively, almost desperately, churning through your mental battery, pushing you toward totally unnecessary chores and quick fixes just to satisfy that deeply ingrained urge to be productive. All of this culminates in a truly fascinating psychological verdict: the suspicion of rest. Just think about how incredibly powerful that phrasing is. Our brains literally treat relaxation as a highly suspicious activity. To your hardwired, survival-focused, control-craving mind, the simple act of doing nothing is a massive red flag. It feels unnatural. It feels dangerous, even, to completely drop your guard and just be. Your brain assumes that if you're resting, you must be missing a vital threat or neglecting some crucial task. It literally does not trust peace. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to really sit with this final question. Will your brain ever let you drop the suspicion of rest? The next time you pack your bags, switch on that out-of-office reply, and head out on vacation, I really want you to actively notice that tension creeping in. Acknowledge your brain's desperate biological need to problem solve. Because, by understanding this unique mental wiring, you might just be able to negotiate a tiny bit of actual, genuine relaxation for yourself. Because sometimes the absolute hardest work you can possibly do is convincing your own brain that it's actually safe to do nothing. Thanks so much for joining me to explore this topic today, and I'll see you in our next explainer.